Hello, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Castle Crashers here at Gray Studios. And we are here to talk about and review Castle Crashers, what I enjoyed about the game, what I thought was so-so, and what I thought that maybe they could add or improve upon. So that being said, we are just going to kind of jump right into it. Now, Castle Crashers is a kind of hack-slash-adventure game that's got a 2D format put in the medieval realm. Here, as the beginning, you can choose a character and decide which one you want to advance with. Now, Castle Crashers' first intro into the gaming industry and whatnot was basically around 2008 on the Xbox 360. Later on, it began to move on other platforms such as the PlayStation around 2010, and has actually recently moved to the Nintendo Switch at around 2019. Castle Crashers was made by a small gaming company called The Behemoth, where it did development, and with music done by a company called Newgrounds. Here they created this fun 2D adventure where you could hack, slash, and basically eat food, and fight bandits. Now, Castle Crashers starts off here as the castle is being under attack with this, what appears to be an evil wizard. The evil wizard steals a crystal, as well as the king's 4 daughters that you'll see later on. Clearly, as you can see, the battle tended to be quite one-sided, due to the wizard being basically overpowered compared to the average knight. You, however, are not the average knight. I must now go on a quest to regain the crystal and save the king's daughters, and save the realm. Now, the princesses are usually held by basically a boss unit of an enemy. After beating said boss, what happens is basically a huge treasure drop happens. You acquire that sweet money to spend on whatever you need. New weapons, potions, sandwiches, bombs, and you eventually save the princess, which, by the way, unless you are playing teammates who didn't compete, you gain basically a princess's kiss. Kind of fit into that whole hero vibe. And as the story progresses, the minions become tougher, the bosses become harder to defeat, and eventually new tactics are needed to basically use and overpower your enemies. Where's my sandwich? There's my sandwich! Hey, Mr. Beefy! Here at the starting point of the game, before the castle is attacked and the king's daughter's kidnapped, you basically have what appears to be a party going on, and over here you have the traders who basically tell you how to use items, the magician who teaches you how to use magic, and then what appears to be the blacksmith who teaches you basic combat. There's also this lady here who teaches you about the thing called animal orbs, or basically the pets, which is basically this little floaty guy right here behind me, who either gives you special stats or does specific actions. These could be from a supportive role, to inflicting damage upon enemies, to finding goods or weapons, or even money. And after learning the basics and whatnot, you have here the blacksmith area, where all the weapons that you find throughout the game are stored. And you can come back here anytime to switch them out, as you see here. Ooh, man, that hammer looks deadly. I like this sword the best. It is the evil dark sword of a necromancer. You're in the boathouse next to the blacksmith's bench and storage, which is basically an anvil taped to a frog. You can find all your pets here at these pens. Now, with that being said, if you somehow want to find out the stats about these pets, you basically just go to the right of where this veterinary person is, and it will tell you what they do. And if for some reason you just want to solo for a bit, just head to the garbage can there, and your pet will wander off back to its spot. Now here in Castle Crashers, the game doesn't take itself too seriously. as of there kind of being a sense of humor in almost every aspect of the game. From the semi-gross to the just silly gross. And even just downright derpy and silly. An example of this would be Derpbat. Seriously, if that is just not one of the weirdest bosses in this game, I don't know what is. Now here in the game, you eventually come across increased difficulties. To counteract this, you can head on to these stores and make purchases of either weapons and or pets to help you fight your enemies. These enemies can be either tougher NPCs that you find in a late game, to fighting much tougher bosses. With the number and diversity of bosses being only rivaled by the amount of characters you can play within the game. Alright, so now that we've basically covered the basics of what Castle Crashers is, we're going to be going about what I liked, what I thought was so-so, and what I thought could have been done better. Now the first thing that pops into my mind that makes this a great game is the fact of its simplicity. Now normally with these 2D games, yes they are simple, but at the same time with Castle Crashers, it's got a lot more detail thrown into it than most other 2D games. Now the second one I want to talk about is balance, and I don't mean game balance or anything like that, because with the level up system here you can be very, very OP. But all in all, this game focuses around being kind of a one-man army. But no, I'm talking about there being basically a kind of mature balance. Now as you see with this gameplay here, now games like this are generally intended for the younger audience, you know. Around maybe kids or maybe young teenagers, you know, etc, etc. But that being said, as you can see here, you got a battle, you got gore. I mean, especially this guy. This guy's cut in half, and this one's looting from a corpse. But it's done so in a kind of like a cartoon, silly kind of way. Meaning, it's not too gory, you're not going to be grossed out about anything like that. And the thing with that is that obviously older folks and those who are basically just looking for more mature kind of vibes are gonna feel satisfied knowing that you know, the background gruesomeness as well as, you know, just fighting and the decapitations and etc. Meaning that there's gonna be a good balance for everyone regardless of age range. Now, I know I mentioned a lot of things like diversity and, you know, just having a lot of variety, but again, that's the spice of it. Variety is the spice of life. And up here, there's a lot of enemies to fight, such as industrialists, which is what I'm fighting here, to demons, to even fighting bandits, who for some reason have buttholes for faces. And as I said before, the characters themselves. And yes, I know I'm using Grey Knight now. I used a Green Knight before. You start out with either green, blue, red, and I think orange or pink. I'm not 100% sure because I forget because it's been a while. But man, come on! Green, Poison, he's my bro, he's my guy. Anyway, though, as I'm saying, yes, there's a variety of characters that you can play as well and level up. See, look at this. Our fire guy, ice guy, our red guy, our green, Poison, he's my main guy. Point being, there's a variety of allies and enemies that you, when you unlock, once you reach a certain stage or a point or complete an arena, etc. Basically, you have a lot of people to play and a lot of leveling up and grinding to do, if that's your thing. And finally, the fourth reason, everything is just downright silly. Castle Crashers tends to have a lot of sense of humor, from whether or not be the small knights to even the beefy knights to, you know, just humor regarding poo jokes for some reason. See, we see the diarrhea deer. Now, without a doubt, Castle Crashers has this lighthearted, kind of derpy kind of humor that you just absolutely have to love if you got sense of humor. And I said humor twice, but just bear with me. Oh no, taking into effect of this game's age range, or what it aims for, with the sense of humor that it provides, it really is perfect for a more younger audience. Although it is a good chuckle for adults as well. Alright, so now that we talked about all basically the main good points that I found with Castle Crashers, I want to move on to the more neutral points. What was not too great, but not too bad, is what I'm getting at here. Alright, we talked about the good points that I liked about Castle Crashers, but now we're going to move on to the so-so what I find. And it's really only just one, but the thing I find about so-so is basically the challenge rating. Now obviously as you progress through the game, the enemies get harder. That's basically just gaming 101. But all said and done though, with the level cap being 99, and my green guy being 42, basically I still have a lot of room to grow. And the thing with that is that, well, you eventually just kind of get tired of, unless you really love the game, you get tired of, you know, just grinding for mobs. I mean, if you looked at the barbarians, 3 to 4 strikes was all it took to take them down. The demons, maybe 8 to 9. Basically, while the enemies do get tougher, they don't get too difficult. If you can add friends, it will increase the NPC difficulty. Like, there's no doubt about that. But eventually you will reach a level cap of where it just might not be a challenge anymore. Now, the reason why it's so-so is because of the amount of characters you have. You can repeat, you can continue fighting these difficult enemies, and obviously trying not to die, like what I'm trying to do, but currently failing at. Another thing that makes this kind of like a so-so event is these arenas. Now obviously I'm playing in one right now, and there's an endless number of enemies. You complete this, you get a new character to play, and that'll basically give you more experience if you're the type that loves to grind. If you're not the type that loves to grind, oh boy, you might be in for a long haul, dear sir or madam. Now, although in terms of this game is set up so that basically you grind up to level up a variety of characters, that's not for everybody. And all in all, considering what I'm going to get to the bad points later on. But for those that don't like to grind, and for those that are not 100% with the gameplay and whatnot, that's not going to hold them into, well, play in the long term. And while you're trying to level up, you will eventually face challenges and difficulties to the point where you basically get KO'd like I just did. But all in all, eventually those will fade. Although at the same time, what saves that is this insane mode that was added due to a new remastered perk or downloadable content. Because I got basically the big deluxe package, and it just kind of sent me all 4. And I mean serious here, if you are those that like a challenge, then yeah, you can try the insane mode. But at the same time, as I mentioned, it is finite. And you will eventually run out with the characters. Luckily for you, however, there is a lot to pick from, and you got a lot of grinding ahead. But all in all, this kind of setup is for people that basically like to do the grind. They like to do the long grind and overhaul. So all in all, if you're the type of person that just loves to grind out a game, then yeah, this game would be perfect for you. If you are, however, like a challenge seeker, then yeah, you'll be satisfied for a while, but only for a while. And that's why I'm giving that a kind of a so-so. Okay, so we covered a so-so event that you know, I could understand what could be good, what could be bad about it. But now we're just gonna go straight into what I thought could be improved. Now, ever since this game's released on August 27, 2008, and remastered edition on 2015 on June 15, ironically enough, this game has basically gotten 4 DLC packs which feature new units and weapons. But the thing I have to say is that with all the character creation, all the weapon creation, The thing that I think that they should have spent time on is maybe just, level expansion. Now, as you know, obviously, you level up, things get easier, and bosses get defeated quicker and whatnot. But the thing I'm getting at here is that, even with, you're at your first time playing, you got the right team. Maybe 10, 15 minutes per, little bubble area here, little miniature level. You fight, you win, you complete, you move on to the next. The thing with that, though, is, what I'm saying about that is that, if each one takes such a short time, it's going to be a short game, because you do have to do a little bit of grinding back and forth here or there to level yourself up to fight the challenges ahead. But all in all, you're probably looking at maybe an 8 to 10 hour game minimum. And what I'm getting at that is, there's a lot of character creation, there's weapon creation and all that. I like that. But in terms of comparison to, levels, it's just a little sad to see, because you're gonna be playing the same levels over and over again, whether you have to or not. And even on insane mode, with difficulty ramped up and huge XP boost, I might add, huge, it's still gonna be the same levels. There's room to expand, but all in all, in terms of the comparisons, I think they could have added more levels, especially with their remaster pack. Now, the second one I want to go into is the lore. I personally am someone who likes lore. Maybe it might not matter to someone else, but lore, I think, generally just brings a spice of life to everything. And you see all these bosses, all these enemies here, but yet you don't know a single thing about their backstory, let alone the main characters. Like, who was the king? How did he get to be the king? Who is the evil wizard? How did he get to be the evil wizard? Who are the knights that you play? Who are they? How are they raised? How did they get their special powers? In a game like this, you don't have to go into great detail, because obviously it's not a game that requires a lot of in-depth or thinking or whatnot. But all in all, just like a little bit of lore would be nice. Like the poison guy that I play, for example, the Green Knight. His could be he ate a bad burrito, he got gas, and lo and behold, he gained his powers of poison by passing gas. Eating bad burrito. With the Lightning Knight, he could have been struck by lightning. With the Purple Knight, since he's technically the blacksmith, it could be an alter ego to a superhero. The point being, where I'm getting at, is that there's just simply a lack of lore. You have a lot of characters, you have a lot of enemies, you have a lot of minions to fight and all that. And, there's just so much variety, but nothing to back it up on where it came from. I know it might not matter to some, but honestly, in terms of games, I like a little bit of lore. Now, third and last that I want to point on is that this game, with all the variety of characters and whatnot to choose from, the idea that I get from this game is that it's meant to be played with friends. Now, like, other games like Diablo or Ark and whatnot, you can have multiple people. You can have multiple people in a tribe, building, collecting, grinding. You have the arena and whatnot, and yes, you can do this on your own, and the enemies do get tougher if you choose to fight in groups. But all in all, what makes this game fun is that you're playing with multiple people. You're seeing abilities, new combos, whatnot, and then when you have to fight either fight to the death in arenas, or save a princess, you then have to fight each other to claim the kiss of the princess. Obviously, that may or may not be for you. Or why not? Maybe you don't care, maybe you just do it for fun, or maybe it's just like, no, the princess is mine. Now, this game is meant to be played with friends, there's no doubt about that. You can play solo, and if you do well, if you do play in groups, the enemies will be tougher, as I said earlier. But if you choose to play solo, I mean, you're not gonna see any fun combos. You're not gonna have the experience of fighting for the princess and getting a kiss, if that is your thing. But, oh no, like I said, neither are there, you know, death arenas where you can challenge your friends and whatnot. Or if you got any, I don't know. I don't know about the person's personal life. You can solo the game if you want, but I don't know, if you're the type of person that's, you know, you have fun playing with your friends, or maybe this kind of game genre, or maybe the theme is not for you, I mean, your friends can get you into it. I mean, that's what happened to me. I would happily play this with my buddy who recommended this for me. Anytime. By itself, however, by myself, I can't see myself getting into it. I mean, that's just me though. I like action games, I like horror games, I like gore and Doom and all that. You're not gonna find that in Castle Crashers. So all in all, now that we've done our comparisons and whatnot, what I liked, what I thought was okay, and then what I thought, you know, could be improved, or my own personal opinion on the game, how would I rate it? Well, the thing with this game is that games like, or gaming brands and companies like IGN and GameStop, a majority of them rank this somewhere around 8 to 8.5 out of 10. I don't honestly agree with that and say it is a 8.3 in my personal book. It just is. Don't get me wrong, great game to play with friends. It's silly, you can have a good laugh. Its simplicity is its beauty, and the fact that they added so much detail into it is what I love about it. But considering the lore, or I should say very lack lore of it, and that this is generally just a game made to be played with friends and not exactly by yourself, I would, however, give it some points and, you know, something to consider. Although with the current price of how much it costs to play it, you know what, I would honestly say it would be, you know, worth trying out. You know, get your buddies, get your friends, and ask them if they wanted to hang out and, you know, just play a random silly game. And if you wanted to get some good laughs out of it, then you know what I say? Hey, go for it. I play this with my buddies anytime. So, that being said though, folks, if you did like this video, which I don't know how long it is since I gotta edit out a bunch, but if you did think it was informative and you did think that, hey, you might get this game for yourself, then, I mean, hey, go right on ahead. So that being said, if you did like this video, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, that would mean a lot. Don't forget to share. Check out my Twitch channel, The Great Cog. And if you think I missed anything about this game, then hey, let me know in the comments, because what I've done is basically just what I would consider a basic general overview of my own personal opinion about the game. That being said, comments if you got something to say, or if you would disagree with me on something, because I mean, hey, it's just based on my own personal opinion. And who knows, maybe I might change my mind. But all that being said, folks, I say have a happy day. Bye-bye, folks.